Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bear Run Enterprises channel once again. Today we have episode 1 of Rob's Rants and Raves. This is a little show I want to do every now and then when I have stuff I want to get out there. But I'm hoping that this channel becomes something someday. If not, whatever. We're just going to have fun with it, right? So, I would be remiss if I didn't use this platform that we've been given to try to get some good information out there once in a while, right? And maybe some of it can help people, okay? So I had an experience recently that I would like to talk about, and today we're going to be discussing a new scam that is out there. And let me just say right now, I don't think that there are much worse people in the world than scammers, okay? People that are just trying to steal your hard-earned money. You know, the economy isn't great right now. None of us can afford that, okay? So, anyways, that's my little rant on scammers. We all know they're dirtbags. Nobody likes them. So, whatever. All right, so what happened, right? So the other day, it was a few days ago, I get a text message that appears to be from my bank. I am going to refer to my bank as my bank for privacy purposes, you know. But it's a well-known bank. But anyways, so I got the automatic fraud alert. I was like, crap, all right. So I log into my account. I don't see anything. I'm like, well, whatever, I better call them. I'll deal with it in a minute. Well, like, right after I said that to myself, because I was in the middle of something, I get a call from my bank. Comes across the caller ID and everything. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're dealing with this now. And so I answer it, and I was like, hello, whatever. Hi, we're calling, this is my bank. We're calling about the fraud alert, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, yeah, I was just going to call you in a few minutes, so, but whatever. And I was like, well, we saw, I was like, this transaction from Florida. Are you traveling? I was like, no, I'm up here. Okay, well, we'll do what we can. Okay. They said that the charges were done from a Samsung Pay device. Now, this should have been a clue number 1 for me, but it was the end of my day. I was tired. Probably wasn't paying the best attention. This was like middle of the afternoon, or like late morning, because I'm third shift, so it was about time for me to go to bed. I'm trying to get stuff done and then start winding down for the day, so I probably wasn't paying the best attention, looking back on, hindsight's 20/20. But so anyways, I tell them, no, that wasn't me. All right, well, this is linked to a Samsung Pay device, and nowadays we can just take it off of that device, or cancel that device, and your account will stay secure. I was like, okay, cool. Didn't think much of it. And I asked him, I was like, I don't see that on any of those transactions on my account, so like, what's the deal there? And he says, well, we caught it early. Our fraud detection is getting better, and we caught it earlier, and it never went through, so that's why it didn't show up on your side. I was like, oh, okay. So anyways, we go on, and he says, well, we just want to verify everything else on your account. My bank uses Zelle, which is a money-paying service, kind of like a PayPal type thing, I guess. And I haven't used it in a long time. But he says, yeah, we see this $1,000 transaction to a guy named Jasper from Zelle. Is that you? And I was like, I don't know any Jasper. That's not me. He says, okay, well, don't worry. We'll cancel that, and we'll have this money refunded to your account momentarily, and you'll have everything back. I was like, great, awesome, thank you. And so I look in my account. Sure enough, there's a Zelle transaction, but it doesn't say that it's to a guy named Jasper. It says it was actually me sending money to me. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, that's just part of the, correction. I was like, okay, whatever. Again, I was tired. I wasn't paying attention, all right? And he says, well, usually, you'll see the debit there, but don't worry. Before we get off this phone call, you're going to see that there's a green credit, plus $1,000 to your account. I was like, all right. And I did. I saw it. I was like, well, okay, cool. I can see it on my end. It's there, right? Oh, I got to backtrack a little bit. Before we got to the Zelle thing, he had asked me to verify. What did he say? Verify. I don't know what it was. It was the same vernacular that my bank actually uses. They use the same vocabulary, right? And this is I'm gonna try to be sensitive here. I'm not trying to like stereotype anybody, but if you think of like a scam caller, you have certain accents in mind usually, even though that's not all of them, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm trying not to, I don't like to stereotype or nothing, but this is something that came up later, and that's why I'm mentioning it here. So there was no obvious clue that this wasn't my bank, okay? So I did it. I did the thing. And all right, cool. It was corrected, though. So I was like, well, it shows there. I see that. I see the correction. Looks a little weird, but whatever. And cool. So he says, yep, you're good to go. I was like, all right, thank you. Whatever. And then just out of habit, I went in and I changed my password, just for safety, So then we hang up. We're done. I'm convinced we're all set. And like 2 hours later, I get another text message, another fraud alert, but it was from a different number. And a couple of minutes later, I get a phone call. Except this time it didn't come across as my bank. It came across on the caller ID as the phone number, and it was a 1848. Blah, 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 whatever the rest of the number was. So I pick up the phone, and it says, hi, my name is so-and-so from my bank, and we're just calling because we got this fraud alert, and we wanted to talk to you about it. Now, things are starting to click on what might have just happened in my head. I'm sure you know where we're going with this. And I said, all right, I'll call you right back. And I hung up just that quick. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. Something wasn't right. Call you back. Hang up. So I have my bank's phone number I have for years in my caller ID. So I used my caller ID, my contacts list, to call my bank myself. I get on the phone with somebody, fraud alert, yep, talking to somebody. I tell them what happened, what just happened. And, yeah, it seemed pretty fishy to them too. And they were like, none of this makes any sense. So I'm going to forward this to, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to call the more advanced fraud investigator people there, I guess. So anyways, I talked to them. They're like, all right, we have your information. We're going to investigate this, and we'll probably call you back in like a day or two. I was like, all right. And they told me in the meantime, so they had me re-change my password again. And I did. And so anyways, I was like, yeah, we're good. We're all secure. That's fine. So the next day, I get another text message, but this one came across again as my bank. So I called my bank again, got to the fraud person, and this was the person from my bank that had investigated it, and it was like, we have to set some expectations of what is about to happen and what did happen and what we need you to do. I was like, all right. So, basically, the information that she gave me is like, the first call that I got the other day that came across as my bank. Apparently what these scammers are now able to do is something called spoofing the caller ID. So somehow they get information that you do your banking at my bank, and it could be any bank. It's all like metadata, I guess. I don't know how they get it. All of our information's out there somewhere. So it's getting increasingly more difficult to keep that stuff private, right? Somehow they found it. And they said, okay, well, we'll just spoof that caller ID. I'm assuming they did their research because, like I said, they used the same vernacular, except for they asked for some different information and I didn't catch it, right? So when they went to verify my identity, which is something my bank does, and I think that's what they said, we have to verify your identity before we can proceed. And they did that. But they asked for they didn't ask for my password, but they asked for, I think, my username or whatever, and maybe my birth date or something. I don't know, whatever. So, and I didn't catch it. It's a stupid mistake. Like I said, I was tired. I was ready to go to bed. It was a long day. It happens, you know. So, anyways, yeah. So this lady from my bank is now telling me what's going on. These scammers can spoof the caller ID. And in her words, these people don't have the typical accents that we expect from scammers or things like that, right? Sorry, this her words, not mine, you know. But anyways, yeah. So basically, and she also told me you can't really trust Google search results anymore, because a lot of people will get on, let's say, oh, I gotta call my bank, oh crap, I forgot the number, I don't have it in my contacts. They'll Google it, get that number, but apparently these scam people, these are agencies, right? These are big companies almost, like, that are defrauding people, right? So they where was I forget. Doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, they will, I'm guessing, pay for Google search results to be near the top, if not the top. And, yeah, with money that they're scamming out of people like you and me. So there's that. Thanks, dirtbags. So anyways, you go on Google, you get the phone number, but you're actually calling the scammers. How crazy, right? So we got to pay attention to this stuff, right? We got to keep ourselves, you know, in the know, okay? Try to do what you can to stay up to date. I do have a couple of recommendations that I got. One is my own personal one. There is some YouTube channels, which I don't have them at the top of my head, but look up, like, scammer gets scammed, right? So there are, I believe they're called white hat hackers, which are like hackers for good, right? That are actually reverse scamming these people. And some of them are actually getting people's money back. So if you can get on Rumble, get on YouTube, get on whatever other sites, and support those channels, even if all it is a like and a share, right? Like, do what you can to support those guys, because that's awesome. They are out there doing the work, bringing the fight back to these friggin' scumbags, all right? And we got to support those guys, all right? Now, some advice that I got from the lady from my bank is, number one, don't trust the Google results for the phone number, because they can imitate websites. It'll look just like something from your bank or my bank or whatever bank. So don't trust the Google results, all right? If you need their phone number, get it from your statement or get it from, like, the back of your credit card or something, okay? Those are the only two places she told me to trust that thing. And also, I can only vouch for my bank, but they said the number will always be a 1-800. Never like an 848 like I saw on the second call, right? So she said what happened is those two calls were from the same group. And the second one probably just forgot to initiate the spoof of the caller ID. So I actually got kind of lucky with that second one that they kind of messed up. Serves them right, bunch of dirtbags. Anyways, so don't trust the Google results. Trust the phone number on your statement or your credit card. Only those two. Furthermore, they also said pay attention to what your bank will do for verification, all right? That's where I messed up. We figure I didn't remember giving it to them, but I must have heard the same vernacular that my bank uses and just assumed, and yep, okay, and like I said, I was tired, it's the end of my day, you know, whatever. So you got to stay vigilant, okay? So don't trust the Google results, trust your statement, trust your credit card, pay attention to things like ask your bank, hey, what will you never ask me for, right? They told me that we will never ask you for this, this, and this. okay, for verification. There's other ways they can do it. I was like, all right, great, thank you. And also, there was one other thing. Oh, yeah. What I did the second call is always going to be an appropriate response, okay? Okay, I got to call you back, and just hang up. Don't give them a chance, all right? Don't even talk to them. Don't engage, nothing. Your bank's not going to be offended. If it does happen to be your bank, they're not going to be offended. They're just going to assume you're busy, and you're going to call back anyway, so whatever. They're just trying to help you out, right? Keep your account secured. It's in their best interest to secure things, okay, because they want your business, and you want your money safe, all right? As safe as it can be in this economy. So anyways, that's always a good strategy, okay? I'll call you back, hang up, and then get the number from a trusted source and be proactive and call your bank, okay? So yeah, that's what happened. That's some advice that I got from my bank to help secure yourself. Do what you can to stay vigilant, all right? Get on the interwebs and research this relatively new scam, I guess, spoofing, caller ID scammers. Use that as a search term, I guess. Try to learn what these guys are doing so that you know what to look out for, all right? We got to stay vigilant. We got to work together. Please do everyone a favor. Share this video, all right? Please like and share this video. Yes, it helps the channel out, but we got to get this information out there, okay? And actually, the lady from my bank was like, tell everyone. I was like, can I do a video on it? Like, she's like, yeah, do whatever you got to do. Like, tell people this, okay? Because it is incredibly convincing. These guys are, maybe if I was more alert, I would have caught, like, hey, you guys don't usually ask me for that piece of information for verification. I might have been able to catch it, but you know what? I didn't, and it just takes one little slip up, all right? So, everything's secured now. That's great. My bank is awesome. I hope yours is as vigilant and you know, as my bank is. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you, okay? Thank you very much for tuning in. We always appreciate every view and every like and every share we can get here at Bear Run Enterprises. And hopefully you enjoyed or found some use anyway in the content for the episode 1 of Rob's Rants and Raves. So keep a lookout for that. We're probably just going to call it RRR, Rob's Rants and Raves, on the title. I haven't really decided yet, but hopefully you got some good information out of it. And I look forward to seeing you, as always, on future content for Bear Run Enterprises. Please like and share. Really helps the channel out. And as always, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.